Hello, this is John from caveofprogramming.com, and in this tutorial we're going to look at using the cimport statement to break up your project into kind of manageable different sections like headers and footers or a shopping basket and that kind of thing. So we've already seen at least a couple of different ways of including one page in another, and this is another way of doing it that's a lot like JSP include, except that it's a bit more powerful because you can include anything using this technique, even pages from another website. So this is kind of the JSTL way of doing it, and of course you can mix and match if you want to, but I'll show you this here for the sake of kind of completeness. Now I've got this home.jsp file, and I actually want let's see, if I go to my kind of web view of it, I'd like to have this footer here and this header which says copyright here. I'd like to have those on every page of the site that I'm going to create, which is just going to be a really little demo site with probably nothing much more than a login page and that sort of thing on it. But to do that, I want to kind of split out the header and footer HTML into separate files and include them into every file that I then use. So to do that, I'm gonna let's right click the web content here, and I'll say new JSP file, and I'll create a header.jsp, and I'll do the same again and create a footer.jsp. Now if I go to my home.jsp, the complete file, I may as well take everything that's going to be on every page and put it into header.jsp and footer.jsp. So I've got my content in this section here. Oh, sorry, no, actually that's part of the header. I've got my content here, and I may as well take everything from there up and put it into my header. So let's in fact let's do Control X on this and just save that and go to header.jsp and select all that and paste this in. And I'll do the same for the footer, so I'll go back to my home.jsp and I'll take everything below the actual content, cut it and go to footer.jsp, select that and delete it and paste this in. And now to make my home.jsp complete again, I need to include header.jsp there and footer.jsp there down at the bottom. And I'm going to use that using a new technique here. I'm going to use the cimport tag. Now to actually use this tag, I'm actually going to have to refer to JSTL stuff here. So actually if I go back to header.jsp, it's maybe a good idea if I take, in fact no, actually I probably can leave this stuff in header.jsp. I'm kind of making this up as I go along, but I think if I go to home.jsp, what I do need is a taglib directive. So this isn't going to appear on the page, but it's going to be a directive to the server to include the JSTL stuff within this page, make it available here. So I need to say, I need a %@taglib, and then I need to say URI equals, and we've covered this before of course, http://www.java.sun.com/jsp/jstl/core, and I need to specify the prefix, and I'm going to use the C prefix here, C tags. And once I've got that in there, I can say C:import, and this is the new tag that I'm using here. And I want to say here, let's try to get the autocomplete isn't working. Let's save this. So I think that's correct. I need to say prefix equals C. I missed out the equals there. And let's save it. And so it's telling me, can't find the tag library descriptor. I think I spelt this yeah, it's actually not www but java.sun.com. Get there in the end. Here we go. And now once I've got that in there, I can actually do control space, and if I'm lucky, the autocomplete should work. It doesn't seem to. Let's say cimport. Oh, here we go. Type the whole thing from scratch, and I say cimport, and then press control space. Now here I can specify a URL for stuff that I want to be imported. So this is really powerful. You can even put, I believe, an FTP command in there to an FTP server. But here I'm just going to make it very simple. I'm just going to say that I want to import my file header.jsp, and I'll save that, and let's just copy that and paste it down here, and here I want to have footer.jsp. And so if I run that now, that should work as it did in the last tutorial. It should look the same, except I split my header and footer out into different files. So let's run that, and there we go. Looks very nice. So your my main content file, which is going to have stuff in it later on, doesn't need to really have anything more in it than the taglib directive. And when we look at the output file there, the file that's actually rendered in the browser, let's just quit some of this stuff, and I'll quit that, and I'll just run it again here. So I'll select my website and click run, because I've already set up the mapping for my controller servlet in the last tutorial. And if I do view source, you can see that we've got all the stuff from the header, and we've got the stuff from the home.jsp, and then there's the footer. And of course the taglib directives don't appear in the output, they're just directives to the server. Now one thing that's not quite right here is in my header I've actually got a hard-coded title here, and the problem with that is that I want to use the header on lots of different pages, which are probably all going to have different titles. And the way I can deal with that is I can actually, in JSTL, I can actually set a parameter with my title in it, and I can use the parameter here, or at least this is one way of dealing with this. So let's go to home.jsp, and inside my cimport tags, I'm going to say here cparam, and I'm going to give the param a name, title, and I'm going to give it a value, which is going to be, in this case I'll say picture squirrel. Let's say picture squirrel home, so that you can actually see that it has changed. I spelled squirrel right, so I'll be happy. I think it's like that. Picture squirrel home. And now, because I've specified this parameter here inside this these import tags, now I can refer to that on my header. So in here, where I've got the title inside the HTML tag, I can say, I can use expression language and say $ and param.title. And in fact, this is a completely generic way of setting parameters. So I could output the title parameter here with a scriptlet and saying request.getParameter title. That would also work here. Excuse me, my voice is going. And so now if I run that now, if everything's saved, and say run on server, then if you look up here, where are we? This tab, you can't really see, but maybe if I quit some of the other tabs. In fact, let's just copy that and Control X and go to my browser, and let's just paste this in here. So here, hopefully, no, we can't see there either. Oh, there we go. If I hover, I don't know if you can see that. Hopefully, it's on the video. If I hover over my tab in Chrome, the title tag actually comes out in a like bubble thing, a tooltip. And in fact, like if I start, let's say, Internet Explorer, the title tag will often be displayed in your browser. Let's try it. So I'll paste that in, and here it says Picture Squirrel Home. And that's what the title does in HTML. But the main point of what I wanted to show you is simply that you can set parameters in your import tag that are then available in the files that you've imported. So that's it for this tutorial, and until next time, happy coding.